are live. It is the WeCrochet Facebook Live. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. And is it live, Sarah? Oh, there it is. Hey, everyone. All right, let's get started here. Oh, someone's making coffee in my background, so you know it's time to start. Today I have with me Tonja from Plumeria Maui. Tonja, how are you today?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm excited about the new coffee that's getting made right now, and
Always love coffee.
Tonja and I have been having fun in the background before this started, talking about our kids because we both have 4 sons that are pretty close in the same age. So we've been swapping mom of boys stories in the background. And then I was shooing my 6-year-old like 10 seconds before this video started. So it's been an exciting morning so far. So if you're just joining us and you don't know who we are, WeCrochet is an all crochet site. It's crochet.com, and you can find yarn and hooks and tools and notions and patterns all about crochet. Everything we do is for crocheters, and we're crocheters too. You can also, join us every Tuesday like you are right now for our Facebook Lives at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. And if you're joining us, please comment in the comments. Tell us where you're from, what you're drinking this morning, and let's get started talking to Tonja. How about you, Tonja? What are you drinking today?
I'm drinking tea. I have a glass of usually breakfast or Earl Grey.
I love Earl Grey. It's funny, the other day my kids we have a tea rack in our kitchen, and they were like, ooh, new tea, what tea do we have? So we're tea lovers over here too. All right, everyone, stick around, keep following with us. We're gonna talk to Tonja right now and find out more about her, and then later she's gonna show and tell some of her favorite projects that she's worked on. And I see Nicole Chase in the audience. Hi, Nicole. Thanks for joining us. And V is watching from the UK, and it's 4:30 p.m. for her. She's in the future for us. Hopefully it was a good day for the world today. All right, Tonja, let's see. Tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you learn to crochet?
I actually learned to crochet in April of 2014 when my 3rd son was 6 months old and my mom was visiting.
And so your mom taught you?
Yeah, she did. We were, I grew up knowing that my mom and my grandmother both crochet and knit and like the idea of it, but I didn't quite understand, I was sewed my whole childhood. And quilted. So I think I was just more drawn to that. Mm-hmm. But we were in Walmart, and my mom's like, she was crocheting the whole time she was here. And so she was here for like a month, and it was like she was leaving in 3 or 4 days, and we were in Walmart, and I'm like, will you teach me to crochet? And she's like, sure, grab some yarn, grab a hook. And I think we spent like that night and like the next day, and I just chaining and double crocheting. Mm-hmm. And then, and I hit that point, I can't do it. No, you can totally do it. You can totally do it. And then I did it. And
yeah, it's so awkward at first, I was going to say. Yeah, that's so good. It is. Nice. And, so you got started then, and then did you take off with it?
I did. So she was only here for like 3 more days. So like, I was like, well, what else can I learn while you're here? So I think she taught me to single crochet. So then when she left, I just went on YouTube since I had a little baby at the time, and just YouTube as much as I could. And I was just self-taught. Like I think the first thing I taught within a couple of weeks was how to crochet in the round. And nice. Then I was just already free designing because I sewed and I quilted and I made clothes. I understand the concept of shapes and patterns. Mm-hmm. So my brain immediately went there because of what I had done, like my whole life basically was sewing. Yeah. And I just started making shapes. I think the first thing I made, like in the first 2 weeks, was a purse. And but I look back, it was like, because I had like odd colored yarn, so it wasn't very color coordinated. Yeah. But it's always fun when those memories pop up in my Facebook memories, because I'm like, oh, that was one of my first project.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I like it when my crochet memories pop up on Facebook too, because I've only worked here for a little over a year. So before it was just a hobby, and now it's my job. So it's cool to remember that, oh yeah, I crocheted before too.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, and because I'm having four boys, and I was homeschooled. Actually, I homeschooled up until this year.
Oh, okay.
So this was their first year in public school. But because I was homeschooling, my goal was, hey, how can I work from home? That's why I was started a blog, and it was like uh, I would do it, then I wouldn't do it because the kids were they became priority, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
once I were in school this year, I was really able to do a lot of focusing and a lot more work. And I'm just really, it's just been so much more, it's been fun to have something to focus on for me. And I, I love crocheting, and it's fun to share patterns because my brain, I'm constantly, I mean, I just have this mechanical like machine in my brain. I'm constantly creating patterns like every day. So I have journals and journals of patterns and ideas and sketches.
That's so fun. I'm always frustrated that you can come up with so many ideas and sketches quick, or I can quicker, and then it takes time to actually make the thing and like
Yes.
prove the idea. Um,
The execution, that's like, I'm always like, I wish my hands could crochet as fast as my brain can think of ideas.
yeah, yeah. It's like things like garments too. Like you're like, oh, I can think of some really good ideas for a sweater or a shirt, but it'll take me a month to make it, or like
Yes.
whatever, 2 weeks. But yeah, that's a slow down point, but I guess that helps you figure out which ideas you're the most excited about, and then you can prioritize from there maybe.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do. I feel like I love having like a day. Like I have my own little Pinterest.
Mm-hmm.
My journals are my Pinterest. I go flip through and I'm like,
Yeah.
what can I pull out? And um because I like sometimes I feel it's a little overwhelming because I wish I could make more, but then now that I've gotten a little bit older and it's been, I'm going to say I'm a little bit more seasoned as a crocheter and a
Mm-hmm.
blogger. I feel like I feel more blessed. Like this is great. I have my ideas, and I can, maybe this will work because it's spring. Maybe this will work because it's fall. Um, because the weather here too is generically warm where I'm
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
But I think about what's going on, like, mainland US or Europe or even
Mm-hmm.
Australia. Their seasons are reversed from us.
Yeah, so it can be anytime really. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the great thing about the internet too, and having your business on the internet, is that you can reach people in all different climates and different things happening, and so that is pretty cool.
Exactly.
So let's see. So you kind of told us how you got into pattern design. Do you have do you have tips for anyone who's wanting to design, or what's your favorite thing you've learned from your design work?
I would say making stuff is probably like, if you're, once you start, I did before I came up with, I've had a lot of ideas, but what I did last year is I really focused on testing garments
Mm-hmm.
as a tester. And that was really fun and really helpful because it gave me a feel for how we all, the concept of garments isn't unique, but all of our concept are unique. And
Mm-hmm.
so it gave me an understanding of how to approach what I like to make and how I like to make. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that was probably one of the best things I did was through social media, is when other designers asked for testers, was to test their designs and walk through the process.
That's a good tip. I agree with that too. And here's my reasoning why. First of all, different people write their patterns different ways. So you'll always learn
Mm-hmm.
something new from doing someone else's pattern. And then, second of all, I think when you commit to being a tester, then you're on a deadline and you can't just quit. If I mean, you
Yes.
can, but like there's more incentive to keep going, even if you're
Yeah.
frustrated or having trouble, like a rough patch. So, like, I think it's a good
Yes.
discipline to try to, it helps you learn and grow your skills by when you do
And
testing.
if you
So.
and if you have a problem, like what I find is, because like I create little groups, little chat groups for my
Mm-hmm.
testers, and that's what, and I learned that from the other individuals that I tested for, is that if you run into a problem, you can ask a question, and that was really like reassuring. It boosted my confidence. Like if I ran into something and didn't understand something, that
Mm-hmm.
I had other people like immediately, like instant time, basically, hey, I have a question, or this, or I'm hung up. And so it helped me understand the concept of making garments way faster than I think if I was doing it on my own.
Yeah, I think that's true. I noticed too in testing groups, other people ask questions like about somewhere where I'm having trouble and I haven't gotten around to asking about it yet. So that's nice too, because then you're like, oh, I'm not crazy. Maybe this part
Yes.
needs a little work. Um,
Yes.
and also something that I want people to know out there is that nothing that you use in the world, nothing comes out fully formed. Like the We Crochet magazine doesn't come out fully formed. All of the products that you use, their labels aren't the first draft. Like everything is edited and everything is um, made first, and then you improve on it. Like usually nothing comes
Yes.
out perfectly right away. So
Yes.
it's worth knowing that even if someone else's work looks perfect and it looks like they can just design without any flaws, it's really not true. There's a process involved in
Right.
refining it and getting it ready for everyone to use. So if you do want to design but you feel like you're not up for it, definitely try it and just start small and work your way up and build your confidence as you go.
Yeah. And it's always great just to support designers with patterns. Like I get a lot of feedback from people that are just like, thank you for making patterns. You know, like I'm just not a pattern maker, but I love making stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love hearing that side of it too. And then when people reach out and ask questions about designing, and I say the same thing, start small. And you know, what I was told in the beginning is like you'll find what you like to make or what your niche is, and sometimes it's quickly, sometimes it's slowly.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think it can oscillate in between what you're making.
That's true. Also, I think it's a good way to find out about yourself too. Like I'm a learning, like I always try to improve myself and just like learn more and figure out who I am more. And it's funny how you wouldn't think that crochet would do that for you, but I do think that it does. Because as you do different projects, you can be like, all right, I know this isn't for me. Like I personally don't want to do a whole sweater that's single crochet. It's just too monotonous for me. But
Yeah.
you can learn about yourself and it doesn't matter how you are, however you are is fine. It's just like knowing yourself and embracing what you like to do and just going forward in the direction that feels good for you.
I absolutely agree. Like I love garments, and I'm not a big blanket maker, but I love making baby blankets.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love making things for around the house, like little, and so that's a lot of my little free patterns are DIY things that you can do for your house, because as a mom and just as me as a person that I like to have things in my home that I make, I think that other people like that too.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
it's I'm not I that's what I know, like but I love garment, like that's kind of been now going into be my focus. It's garment design. And but that's comes from my passion, a deeper passion from when I was a child to a young
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah.
And so it's coming full circle in that regards for me as well.
Oh, that's cool. So everyone out there, stay tuned because we will be seeing some of Tonja's work that she's done.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if you're showing us any of your garments, but we can talk about
I
those.
have a I have a whip in process.
Oh,
So
you do?
I do have one garment, and then I have some other, I grabbed my stuff that's finished.
Okay, hold on to that because I'm gonna
Okay.
take a pause for a second and say some announcements.
All
All
right.
right, so we are sharing this Facebook Live on Knit Picks and Craft Yarn Council. So thank you everyone who is watching us from those pages. If you're not sure who we are WeCrochet. You can like us on Facebook or any of the social medias. And we are an all crochet brand. Our website is crochet.com. And we sell yarn, tools, crochet patterns, and general knowledge for crocheters. We're all about the crochet here at WeCrochet.
Yeah.
And the we is important too. Just to us, it's important to build crochet community, and we embrace all crocheters, and we hope to provide content and support for anyone who crochets. So we care about you. We care about you commenting in the comments. We care about all of your messages you send us on social media and emails and everything. So we read them all, we share them with each other, and we definitely care about all of you crocheters. And with that, let me say hello to some people in our community. We have people watching from all over the world. Thank you for watching live from the UK. Woolly Wolverine in Bayfield, Aberdeen, Scotland is Debbie Smith, who's one of our regulars. Thanks for joining us, Debbie. We love seeing you here. We have people from Southern California, Southern Oregon, West Virginia. And remember, you can share this Facebook Live on your page if you think that your friends would like it. And don't forget to like us and subscribe to our page and hit the notification button if you want to be notified when we go live. And then let's see, I have a comment from Jessie. She says, I have a design degree and I still mess up all the time. And see, it's just part of life. It's actually, so I wrote a book called Craft Fail, which is all about, I saw this craft and I tried to do it. And then when I did it, it turned out like this and it's not great. But what I learned from starting that website and writing that book was that failure is an essential part of all learning. And it's not like, the name is very heavy and it makes it sound like you should never try again. And it's like, it's over, your life is over, but really failure is just an iteration. It's just, you're learning something, you're learning that something didn't work and you're getting information for your next try on the thing. So don't feel bad if you fail. It is a part of life. All right, let's see. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I would say no, and I believe like it's such an important part of the process. Such an important part. Like
definitely.
Yeah.
If you're afraid to fail, then you're gonna be afraid to try some things, and it really keeps you from growing as much as you could. So yeah, if you can get comfortable with failure, I recommend it.
Yeah, I totally do too.
When I was in roller derby for a while, and for roller derby you have to learn all of these skating skills, and it's not just like how to stay up on your skates, you have to learn all these different things. And so one day our coach was like, all right, today we're going to learn how to fall. And she's like, I know some of you are going to say, oh, well, I'm just never going to fall. Like, I'm going to get so good at skating that I will never fall. But that's not going to happen. Like, you are going to fall. So if you're going to fall, I'm going to teach you 3 different ways to fall safely. So I think about that in terms of life, just kind of like, your plan can't be, I'm never going to fail. That's just not a recipe for success. Your plan has to be, if and when I fail, what will I do then, or how will I do it? Anyway, it's just something I think about a lot.
And that's what I appreciate too. Like, I've actually put out like a pattern there, but maybe there's like one typo and somebody messages me, and I've had it tech edited, and I've read it like 20, maybe 50 times, and there's still like one error, and it's just I feel like it just shows our humanness. Like, we are truly human, and we're not, in the sense that we will make mistakes, but if somebody catches it and just says, hey, then it's like, thank you, because that's also showing their humanness and being kind and being like, hey, this was an error. Oh, thank you. I'll go and fix it. And then it's fixed for everybody else.
That's true. That's true too, because sometimes when you notice something that's wrong, you're like, oh, should I say anything, or should I just keep my mouth shut, because you don't want to be that guy who's doing it. But so you're putting yourself out on a limb when you're pointing something out that someone might need to correct. So it's true. All right, we have a couple more comments. Hi from the Yukon, from Fiber Flux, from Southwest Washington, from Florida, from Durban, South Africa. All right, we have a global audience today. Welcome everyone. Yay. We appreciate all of you. And just now we're going to talk to Tonja about her whips and her show and tell. So let me introduce you again really quick. This is Tonja from Pink Plumeria Maui, and she is going to show us some of her works in progress.
Yeah, and I'll mention that I live in Maui in Hawaii, and so it's nice and bright and early for me, but it's just I love hearing that we have a global audience, because I miss being able to see people from around the world. It's one of the perks of living here, is I get to meet a lot of people from around the world.
True. And that is a good point too. Tonja had to get up really early to join us. So we feel like we're early on the West Coast at 8 a.m. That's early for us, but she's in Hawaii, so it's like 5 in the 5s for her right now.
It is.
So.
Yeah. The sun has just started rising.
Oh, nice. So what are you working on, Tonja?
Well, I have a few things that I finished, and I was waiting kind of for around the first week of July. I'm going to just do a release of a handful of free patterns, and one of them that I made was with the Tough Puff. Ooh. And this is it's like a flower wall hanging. I have to think of a clever name for it, but it was so fun to make. I literally made this in like an hour, like maybe an hour and a half.
It reminds me of mirror on the wall, like a fancy mirror frame, or a fancy frame.
Well, like, when I go to Target or places, I'm always inspired that like there's a lot of crochet and macrame like wall hangings. And so this is just a 8-inch embroidery hook
Oh,
that I
nice.
used, like the inside of it, because the outside would have the little prong.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I'm going to release this as a free pattern, and I used the Tough Puff and an end hook, and literally made it within an hour and a half watching TV.
That's so much
And
fun.
it's super pretty. Um, I I made uh, the Burst of Aloha mug rugs. So I made I think I'm gonna I made a hot pad, and I'm gonna put tassels on the end, so you'll
Oh,
have
cute.
a hot pad rug, not a mug. Like the mug rugs, I love the mug rugs with the tassel. I love tassel.
Mm-hmm.
So I
What's the stitch you used on that?
Oh, sure. This is a jasmine star stitch.
I hope it's showing up on the video. It's hard to see, but you can definitely visit Tanya's Instagram because I know there are some photos of it on there.
Yes.
It's so
And
cool.
it's just a really fun stitch. It's more beginner, intermediate. But when you're making like things for the kitchen, I love it for hot pads and for mug rugs, because it's thick and you're just doing one row. Like you don't have to sew two pieces together.
Yeah.
And it's just a really nice. So that was actually one of the first stitches I taught myself. So
That's really cool.
something I've been making for years. And then I was like, and I made the mug rugs. I'm like, I should just do a hot pad rug because they match.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And pot holder. We need a pot holder now.
Yeah, I usually make a whole set of them once a year. I find mine last a good year and a half before usually my kids ruin them.
Yeah. What yarn did you use for that?
Oh yeah, thank you. That's what I wanted to show. So I have the ball of it left, but this is Dishy yarn,
Oh, it's Dishy.
which you guys just got back in stock.
We did. The dish is back. I keep saying that because that joke cracks me up. I don't know if it cracks anyone else up, but if you see it on social media, just think of me.
And it's really beautiful cotton yarn to work with. It's really nice. Actually, I have 2 cones. This is Dishy yarn too. The Dishy cones.
You have the cones. Those are, I love, strategically placed on your shoulder.
Well, they're beautiful colors. So like, oh my God, I leave them there, and I'm like, until I use them, they're beautiful, beautiful.
They are. Yeah, they just look good.
The other thing that I made, and it's from the mini skeins, the jewel pack.
So that's the Brava minis, and those are about $20 for 24 tiny mini skeins.
Yes.
And it comes in all the different colors, which is great because then you can see the colors in person and it's easier to make color choices, I think.
And it's brilliant. I love the concept of that you get like a sample pack, but then you can actually make something out of it.
Yeah.
So I made my son a blanket because I have a 3-year-old and he loves blankets. He's a big blanky kid. And it's hard to see because it's kind of big.
Oh, that's so pretty.
But it's really pretty.
Granny squares.
Yeah, all so I did, and there's a trick that I did to it. So what I did is how you guys package them. They're actually really beautiful aligned color.
They're already in a good color.
Yeah, they're already. Nice. And so what I did is I took the photo of the mini pack that's from the website, and I followed the color scheme the same way.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it worked out. It's really pretty. So like the blues, and then there's like greens, and so it ascends really pretty.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I did not know that before.
It's really soft. Yeah. That's like before we went on, I went and grabbed it off the bed because my son sleeps. This is his blankie.
He's going to wake up and be like, where's my blankie?
Yeah. So I'll release this as a free, I'll release it as a free pattern or a paid pattern. And I'll put it as a low cost PDF and on your site too.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have it on crochet.com sometime soon.
And I made, because it's a join as you go, I did make a video to do the join as you go process. So
Oh,
that's
that's
what's
good.
nice. It's not, you could totally sew it together like with the granny squares,
Hmm.
but it's so much easier to do join as you go. Like it did not take me very long to make that blanket at all.
Oh, that's great. So do you have
Uh,
that video on your YouTube channel?
Not yet. When I release it with
Okay,
I'll release it with the pattern.
cool. And that's in July. You're planning on
Yes.
releasing. Okay,
Yes. So
great.
by July is, I think a lot of us got a little delayed with the COVID-19. So
Yeah, definitely. I think we're all used to a little bit slower pace right now.
exactly. And my kids will go back to school in a few weeks.
Okay.
School starts here early because we do year-round school.
Mm.
Um, then I am using, where do I have the skein? This is Brava. Sorry, it got caught on my cord on my headset. um, the Seraphim and
Oh,
Brava
yeah.
worsted, which it's beautiful. We have jacaranda trees here.
Oh, yeah.
And I took that picture. So when I was up country, so we have jacaranda trees and they bloom and springtime, like late spring, and they're these huge purple trees.
Oh, cool.
And so up country, you just drive and it's just purple everywhere. It's really beautiful. So when I went up there, I took my yarn with me and I took some pictures with
Oh,
the jacaranda, because the purple and this shade of purple with that shade of purple is so pretty.
oh, that is pretty. So that one's the Seraphim from Brava, and that comes in Brava worsted for sure. I'm not sure if it's in the other.
No, I
It,
think it's only in the Bravo worsted.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I've noticed the crocheters really like that color. And if you can't tell on the screen, it's a purple gray. It's a really
Yes.
unique, different kind of color. It's very soft purple with a very pretty deep gray undertone. It's really cool.
And it's definitely one of those colors where photos do it justice, but real life really does it justice.
Yeah, it does
And
look
when
really pretty.
because I crochet in public a lot, I get a lot of comments from people on yarn that I use. And every time I've been working on this, people just stop in their tracks and we're like, wow, that's a really pretty color.
Well, I love that you took photos of it, and I really like that about all the different designers we work with, that they're posting pictures of the yarn on their social media, because it's hard as a website that sells yarn. It's really hard to adequately kind of convey what this yarn looks like online. And we
Mm-hmm.
do a lot on our end to try to make sure the colors are as accurate as they can be on the screen. We write descriptions for the colors so that you can kind of get a feel for what they are like. And we even put together color packs, because when we're in the office, we can see what things work together well. And it's easier for you to just pick up a package that's already
Mm-hmm.
pre-curated in colors. But anyway, I was saying I love seeing pictures of people's yarn out and about, because I think that it really helps people figure out what colors they like or what yarns they would
Yeah.
like to try.
And you guys do, I love your website in that regards, because the colors, you do a really good job of true to life colors. And I appreciate that, because when I'm looking at that and then I get the yarn in the mail, I'm like, oh, it's the same color.
Yeah, and then sometimes you're like, what? Because we have a yarn room at work when we have our building open. So sometimes if we're planning projects, we'll go down to the yarn room and see the actual skeins of yarn to see what works together well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely harder to do when you don't have access to a yarn room. Um,
Yeah. It there is a finesse to it for sure.
we do
So
have sorry, one second. I'm sorry to interrupt. We do have a yarn guide that you can get on our website. It's like $2.99, and it has all of our yarns and all the colors, and the printing has been color corrected so that it's as true to life as it can be. So if anyone out there is wanting a tool to help you figure out what yarn to get, definitely pick out the yarn guide in your next order.
I saw that on social media, and that's a really useful tool, extremely useful, because you guys do have an amazing selection of yarn and colors. So I'll show you. So I'm using Tennessee and crochet,
Oh, nice.
and
Oh, it's so pretty.
it is so pretty.
And that's the seraphim
Yeah,
color?
this is the
Yeah.
Seraphim, and I'm not going to say what it's going to be because I want it to be a surprise. Because I have so many people are asking me what it is, and I'm I want it to be a surprise.
Okay, so you have to follow Tonja on social media to find out what that is.
And then I was grabbing, I have, this is like my wall of WeCrochet yarn. And I wanted to grab, I think, my two favorites. And just because, like, I think we all are drawn to different like colors and textures. And I always kind of giggle at myself because I think my favorites change, but they remain the same because I'm always drawn back to them. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. This color is phenomenal.
Highlighter.
Highlighter and swish.
Oh, I love that one too.
It is a phenomenal color. And not on top of that, but the yarn. I do love the swish yarn.
Swish yarn is good.
It's 100% superwash merino and it's so soft. I actually like making stuff here for Hawaii in the merino wool because it breathes really well.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot about summertime.
Yeah.
For warm weather crochet.
I always get that odd comment like, you use wool in Hawaii? And I'm like, well, it's actually very humid and cotton and wool breathe the best. And then I was going to show you the comfy and sage.
Oh,
this is so beautiful. So beautiful. And another, it's Pima cotton with 25% acrylic, super soft. And I've been playing around with this. I have an idea of what I'm going to make, and I love working with it. It's just so soft.
Yeah, I like working with it too.
Yeah. So
those
I just grabbed
good picks.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We got some comments. Annie Ray says, if someone finds a mistake in something, I just tell them that it makes it unique. Yep, good point.
Oh yeah.
And Kay says, I don't crochet except a chain. I'm a PDX knitter, that's Portland, and I still enjoy other fiber arts. Thanks for joining us, Kay. We think you can learn more than a chain. Do a single crochet this week. Debbie says, talking of craft fail, I've just done 6 rows of UK trebles when it should have been double trebles, so I've just been doing coffee and uncrocheting. I just restarted though, so it's all good, and I had to learn to fall in self-defense classes years ago. So she's saying that learning to fall correctly is a useful skill. Yep, see everyone? Learn to fall.
Yeah.
And then a few more people have joined us from Boston, Sonoma County, California, and Rockdale, Massachusetts. Sorry, I butchered that. I'm a West Coast person. Anyway, do you have any other things you want to talk about or projects that you're working on?
I have projects that I'm working on, but I'm not going to show them because it's just not to the point where they're like, it would just be showing more yarn, but I could always show more yarn.
I have one. I want to talk about. So I'm doing a design for the spring issue 2021 of WeCrochet magazine. They let me do a design. So don't tell anyone, but I have my 12-year-old helping me because it's a tapestry crochet pattern and it has crochet charts. So I asked him if he could draw the designs for me because he really likes pixel art and he's an artist and he's really creative. So he did that for me yesterday. So I have one chart already. It's
a cassette way back in the day.
Yeah, it's a mixtape. So stay tuned for my mixtape themed sign. It's going to be a while before you all see it because it does take months and months to do the whole process of getting things made for the magazine. But if you follow Facebook Live, you get rewarded with inside information. So, so anyway, this has been such fun talking to you, Tonja. This is Tonja from Pink Plumeria Maui. And you're watching the WeCrochet Facebook Live. We're here on Tuesday mornings at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. And if you want to rewatch this video, you can. It'll just be on our Facebook page for people who are watching later after the live broadcast. Thank you. And oh, we have a question. Let's see. Before we leave, Annie Ray says, Tonja and Heather, I am putting together a kit for my someday daughter-in-law. What do you think is the most important tools for a new crocheter? Okay, I'm gonna let you start on that one.
I would say like a set of like a crochet hooks maybe in different sizes for sure. Like Knit Picks has that really nice, the wooden crochet hooks in different sizes, or like the clover or armoire that with the different sizes. Because that's what I found as a new crocheter. I didn't want to just use one hook size. If I had like a little selection of yarn, I wanted to try different hook sizes and see how a chain and a single crochet or double crochet looked different.
Oh yeah, that's true. So we do have back in stock the WeCrochet Bright Hook set, which is a set of 9 ergonomic hooks, and it's $9.99. So it's a really great value. I think it's a great option for beginners and anyone really. Like I use them all the time, but it's inexpensive, but it will give you the range that you're looking for hooks.
That's a great, I think that's a great present and a great idea.
Yeah, let's see what else. I mean, definitely number one, I would say small scissors that you can just put in your project bag. You're always going to need scissors. And maybe tapestry needles, or the needles for weaving in ends. And I would even maybe do like a small beginner crochet stitches guide or something like that. So those are some options.
I would add a zipper pouch, like like, because if you're in the sense, once you have all things, you're like, where do I put everything? Just having a little zipper pouch to have a way to be able to put everything inside.
That's a great idea.
It makes it really nice.
That is a good idea. I also like the little project bags. So we have these little, they're like, I don't know, like a sheet of paper size, but they're made out of cotton, and they have a drawstring top, so you could just throw all your yarn and your project in there when you're not working on it. And I really like to have those too. Okay, we have another comment. I really want to learn to make a C2C blanket, corner to corner blanket, but I need a super easy written pattern or tutorial. I'm in South Florida. Do you have any corner to corner experience, Tonja?
I do. I have a lot. I make a lot of stuff in corner to corner crochet. And okay, tomorrow, my little guy just woke up, my 3-year-old. Yes, corner to corner crochet is actually one of my absolute favorite crochet techniques. So I would say there's a ton of videos on YouTube, and just start. It's very simple to do, and once you start, you're going to be addicted.
Yeah, it is fun, and the results are really pretty too.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're going to wrap up. It sounds like at your house is waking up. Thanks again to everyone who's watching our Facebook Live. Don't forget to follow us on social media, including this Facebook page. Sign up for our newsletter to stay connected. You can go to crochet.com, and at the top left of the screen, it says get emails. You can sign up there. And that you'll learn all about whatever's going on with us, our sales, our promotions, and how to crochet content. And then don't forget to listen to our podcast. It's similar to this Facebook Live, but just audio. You can get that anywhere you get your podcasts, or you can go to crochet.com/podcast to listen. We release new episodes every other Friday. So we have one coming out this Friday. And find us on Ravelry in the WeCrochet group. And thanks to the Craft Yarn Council, who shares this Facebook Live on their page. We love you, and thank you very much. Any last words, Tonja, before we leave?
Oh, for me? Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. And if the viewers want to follow me, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I release a lot of free patterns, as well as my garments are paid patterns, but I'm always releasing different things.
Are your social medias Pink Plumeria Maui? Is that what they should be looking for?
Yep. All my social media is all the same. Pink Plumeria Maui, my blog, Instagram, Facebook, and then I just started a YouTube channel right before COVID happened. So as soon as the kids go back to school, I'll be uploading a lot more videos.
Yay. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Tonja, especially. It's been really fun to talk to you. And everyone out there, keep crocheting, and we will too, because we crochet.
Thank you, Heather.
Bye.
Bye.